Due to overwhelming popular demand, I am reviewing another Booster Gold comic, and today it is Convergence's Booster Gold, issue 1 of 2. And I think this might be a big mistake for me. There is far too much backstory required for this. Unlike every other Convergence's miniseries, which were little quick side stories with odd characters or odd setups, this one is actually tied not just to the crossover, but the previous crossover too, and then it is also acting as the conclusion to a long run on Booster Gold. It is by Stan Jurgensen and an artist, and I really think you had to be following Booster Gold over the years to even stand a chance of understanding this issue. This is... Right, the main thing is, this is a direct sequel to Days of Future's End. Convergences itself, the crossover, it was following up on the Days of Future's End crossover. And this Booster Gold miniseries is, honestly, as much as the next issue after the Days of Future's End Booster Gold one-shot. I reviewed that a few months ago. Sorry, I can't include a thumbnail of that video, but this is the current state of my laptop, so I cannot print screen anything. The link between these two crossovers is Brainiac. I have not read Days of Future's End, just the first few issues, but the plot boils down to Brainiac and the Borg as the bad guys, I think. Brainiac is like the main bad guy in Days of Future's End, and he has this weird design, and I should probably read some more of that story, but I have never gotten very far with the DC weekly events. After that crossover ended, Brainiac's tale was followed up on with Convergences, and everything that happens in Convergences is because of Brainiac. Then we come to Booster Gold and what has happened with him. In Days of Future's End, he was captured by Brainiac, who wanted to torture time travel information out of him. And we had two Booster Golds. We had this Booster Gold here. This is the New 52 Booster Gold. And then we had the Booster Gold, who was Booster Gold before the New 52. New 52 Booster Gold cracked under torture and revealed to Brainiac what he wanted to know. And now, Ripley, the Time Bandit, has come to free Booster Gold, but he was expecting the pre-New 52 Booster Gold. For convenience's sake, let's call him Booster Old. So, Convergences. The plot of Convergences was that Brainiac, he created an artificial intelligence to serve him. And in pursuit of discovery of greater knowledge, that AI did this experiment where a bunch of pockets of reality were abducted. Cities from across the time stream, from all of DC's different canons and continuities. They were stolen and put in domes and then forced to fight each other. Basically, it is Secret Wars, but with time travel. I didn't care for Convergences, the main series. It is not a very good story. But another subplot in it is that a sorcerer inside one of the domed cities has begun imprisoning time travellers to try and use time travel to defeat Brian Axe Robot. Really, the amount of backstory you need to follow this is insane. You see, the other thing is that this is the denouement of a run on Booster Gold that Stan Jurgensen had been helming since 2007. It launched with John Jeffries and Stan Jurgensen, and lucky for us, John Jeffries gave up after 10 issues when he realised that his name alone couldn't make Booster Gold into an A-list character. And so instead, Stan Jurgensen just did the rest of the series without John Jeffries. The ongoing story with Booster Gold was that he was maturing as a hero, and he was actually saving the world on a grand scale, but nobody else really took him seriously still. The series was eventually ended with the reboot, the New 52 reboot. So it comes to this, and we have, on the left is New 52 reboot Booster Gold, and on the right is Booster Old, the character who starred in DC Comics before the New 52. New 52 Booster Gold was reset to the character's original idea, that he was in it for the money and the fame, whereas Booster Old is long beyond that. So here we have Booster Gold seeing the hero that he could be. Then they both get attacked by lizard men, which is when I want to talk about a misconception with Booster Gold. I maybe even just encouraged it further with what I just said. The notion that Booster Gold's motivation is money and celebrity status. That is, and it always has been, the character's setup. But the story of the character has always been about him growing past that. Even in his original series, by the end of that, he had come to realise that there were more important things, and he started acting less selfishly and more altruistically. Of course, he joined the Justice League after that, Justice League International, and he gets a lot of flack from how he joined the team, which was never his fault. It was Max Power who hired bad guys to job to him. Both of those things, the character's original motivation and the toilet brush gang being paid to lose to him, they are things that unfortunately define Booster Gold, because writers like John Jeffries, they didn't really read comics or understand character arcs, and so they gone back to Booster Gold as a corporate shell, or Booster Gold faking it. Here we can see some of the domed cities from Convergences. This miniseries is alone in that it is the only one starring someone who is not part of any of the time periods or the cities that have been captured. He was swept up in it from Days of Future's End. And you can see that effect here from how he is able to navigate between the places kept in domes. Booster Old, he has become unstuck in time, which we saw more of in the Days of Future's End one-shot. But what we learn in this is that he wasn't travelling to different time periods, but travelling to these different cities. And here he is fighting the Imperial Guard. I think this is 70s Imperial Guard. We saw a section of this in the Days of Future's End one-shot. It was drawn by Steve Lightbulb, I believe. We have an impactful ending that again requires so much backstory. Booster Old shifts to another of these cities and reunites with Blue Beetles. Blue Beetles was dead before the New 52. Blue Beetles' death and its effect on Booster Old was huge. And there was a story all about Booster Old trying to save Blue Beetles. And well, now at the end of his story, at the end of that run, he is finally able to see his best friend one more time, thanks to a past version of Blue Beetles being among the gathered cities. This was a nightmare to try and review, and I didn't recommend it unless you are binging every Booster Gold comic you can, because you won't be able to follow this if you didn't read the others. There is shit I never even mentioned, like his sister, or that Ripley the Time Bandit was revealed to be Booster Old's son from the future. For a character that everyone thinks of as the goofy silly Billy from Justice League International, there is a mental and outright impractical amount of continuity linked to the character in Convergence's Booster Gold. People would have gotten this thinking Stan Jurgensen is going back to the 80s and the character's debut, but it is the most densely inaccessible Convergence's title out there. It isn't bad, but yeah, I can't see this being somewhat recommendable without an entire run coming before it. 7 thumbs up.